Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a story time for you, and I will be telling you about the time that I made a customer cry. Now, I did not personally make her cry. You know, I wasn't set out trying to make her cry. And in fact, she wasn't even talking to me when it happened. She was talking to, you know, the manager. But yeah, in her eyes, I made her cry. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I used to work for Louis Vuitton for many years at several different locations, yada, yada, yada. I talked about it in a book review where I pointed out a lot of the inaccuracies. Go check that out. Since then, I have started a new series where I plan to talk about a lot of the behind the scenes information involving Louis Vuitton employment. One of my most recent videos, I talked about the Louis Vuitton employee discount and all the other benefits and perks to working for Louis Vuitton. So if you are interested in this series, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll find out when my next video is coming out. I also post polls on my Instagram stories. I'm a lot more active on there, so follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. It's @aheatedmess. In my stories, I also include links to my recommended resellers. Part of the reason that Louis Vuitton employees get such a huge discount is that they don't go on sale to the public. So in my Instagram stories, I'll always post links to some great deals that I find of authentic vintage Louis Vuitton bags. So follow me on there if you're interested in that. But today we will be talking about the time that I made a customer cry. I filmed another video talking about Louis Vuitton's salary and the pay structure. It explains a lot of the differences in Louis Vuitton employees and how they treat customers versus maybe other luxury retailers. Bottom line, Louis Vuitton employees don't make commission. So there really isn't an incentive for Louis Vuitton employees to push bags on customers who don't want them. When I worked for Louis Vuitton, I never wanted a return. I would rather that someone walk away and not purchase anything than buy a bag they're not, you know, almost, I mean, you don't always have to be 100% certain about a bag, but at least be, for the most part, mostly sure about something, rather than buying, you know, several bags and then trying them out at home and then returning the ones you want. Returns aren't good. If someone was unsure, I would say, okay, well, you know, just go ahead and think about it. It will most likely be here. Again, this was over 10 years ago. So this was before there was a lot of hype with bags, before the kind of inventory was, you know, messing with customers and a lot of things were hard to find. Pretty much everything was available unless it was, you know, discontinued. But if a customer was unsure about a bag, I would encourage them to, you know, think about it. Go home, take a look at what other bags they may have that suit that purpose for whatever their purpose is. And, you know, think about it and then come back. It'll be here the next day. It's really not a big deal. So this woman came into the store one day and she was really eyeing the Riviera. It was a beautiful bag. It's discontinued. It was an Epi bag. It was almost like a briefcase style, but maybe more feminine. It had a wider base and then it kind of tapered at the top. It had top handles. It was a beautiful bag. I have always loved the Riviera, and actually, you know, recently I was looking into the vintage market for it. There was a really pretty blue Epi Riviera and then like a saddle brown Riviera that I considered. But since we've been home and, you know, during this quarantine, I really don't have a need for a work type bag. So I passed on that, but I've always admired it. Anyway, this woman was admiring the Riviera. It was a black, beautiful Riviera. She tried it out. She, you know, walked around the store with it. She looked in the mirror. She carried it on her arm. She put her stuff inside to try it out. She loved it. It was great. You know, she wanted it. Okay, great. Wrap it up. It was at the time, I don't remember the prices, but you know, it was Epi. It was a large bag and it was Epi leather. So it was fairly expensive for the time. And so she bought it. So yay, great, right? She liked it. She wanted it. She bought it. Maybe a couple weeks later, she came back towards the end of her return window with her husband, and she walked straight past me and went straight to the register to return this bag. And the store director was at the register, and she looked at the bag, and I noticed her inspecting it very closely. And then I could see that there was kind of harsh words coming between them, and mostly coming from the customer. Essentially, the store director was telling the customer that the bag appears used and that we can't take it back. And the customer almost lost her damn mind. She said, "What do you mean? It's so expensive. I never even wanted it." First of all, she was saying, "I never used it. I just got it and I don't even want it and it's too heavy," and you know, but she was kind of like very shrill and almost screeching. So she's facing the store director and, you know, telling her, you know, all the reasons why she wanted to return this bag, and I was on the other side of the store, and the customer pointed at me and said, "She made me get this bag." And I was like, huh, I made you get this bag? I don't make anyone get anything. Here I am, my, 19, 20-year-old freshman in college self. I'm like, how am I telling a middle-aged woman she should get a $2,000 something bag? And, I just kind of stood there and I said, okay, I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't make her do anything, And I don't remember if the husband was saying anything, but the woman was adamant that she did not use it and that she hated it and it was too heavy for her and she doesn't want it, and that I made her, she said I forced her to get the bag. And I was like, huh, I didn't know I had that power. So it was going back and forth, and obviously the return policy of LV is that we can only accept returns within a certain time frame. They do extend the time frame during the holidays, but regardless of the time frame, the condition of the bag has to be in brand new, unused condition. And unfortunately, it looked used. It was, I think maybe just, it was dirty. With the openings of these like briefcase style bags where the leather, where the seams are, a lot of times dust and debris and whatever can collect in there, and it looked used. Eventually the store director relented and she did eventually accept the return. But again, returns are up to the discretion of the manager. And in that case, I'm not surprised if she only allowed the return because she just didn't want to deal with this shrieking, crying woman. Oh yeah, she started crying. So yeah, at that point she was crying and she literally was in tears crying, saying that I forced her to get this bag. I, my tiny 5 foot tall, 19-year-old self, forced this middle-aged woman to get this bag. So she was in tears, she was crying, and finally the manager relented and just accepted the return. If the condition was such that the manager was initially reluctant on accepting the return, she probably didn't put it on the floor, and I'm pretty sure it ended up just going straight to RTV. So someone somewhere, some Louis Vuitton employee ended up purchasing that bag at a discount. But yeah, so that's the story of how I made someone cry. Unbeknownst to me, I have the power to, number one, force someone to buy a bag they don't want. And number two, I had the power to make them cry. So just as a tip for all customers, if you're not 100% sure about a bag, then think about it. It's okay. It's okay to think about it. Just give it some time, take a breath, take a pause, think about it, assess your situation at home in terms of your other bags and whatever else you would use to suit whatever purposes you have. If you still want it, then go ahead and buy it. And you have the right to return a bag, but there really is no need for theatrics. There's no need to cry. There's no need to yell. There's no need to accuse a poor college student working part-time, to pay her tuition. There's no need to accuse her of forcing you to buy a bag, against your free will. We all have free will. We all make our own money. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you're lucky enough that someone else is buying your bag, but in her case, I made her buy this bag. So anyway, so yeah, so that's the story of how I made a customer cry. And fortunately, in my very long tenure with Louis Vuitton, while there were many other altercations with customers, from my recollection, that was the only time a customer legit cried. So lady, if you're watching this, I'm very sorry if you were brought to tears, but it's okay. You can return a bag. You cannot buy a bag. So if you have worked in retail, whether it's luxury or wherever, let me know if there was any other time a customer accused you of forcing them to buy something, or if you made a customer cry. Even if it wasn't on purpose, let me know if you made a customer cry, because I did kind of feel bad. I was like, wow, she's very emotional. So I hope you enjoyed this quick story time. Let me know what else you want to hear about, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.